being said, we are going to start our stream of like the main topic of today, and that is expressions. So before we start, I'm gonna bring back my overview, so hopefully it's a little bit easier for the video team to capture certain aspects of the video and everything. I'll maybe make it, I'll probably do it like half and everything, and I think I'm just gonna resize my screen a little bit so it fits the stream a little bit better. No problem, Kevin, I got you. When you mentioned that, I was like, oh, you know what, that's true, I never thought of that, but I guess anything helps, I guess. Okay, so I believe, let me take a look at who won. I'm pretty sure it was Smug. So I put out a community poll and I asked you guys what expression you wanted me to animate, and I believe I was like, yeah, Smug won, which honestly I'm kind of I guess that kind of makes sense. It's a little bit of an ambiguous one in some ways. I thought Angry would win. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that Disappointed would win, but I guess you guys really want Smug, so I guess we're going for Smug. Angry would have been really good just because it's so dynamic. Makes it a little bit easier for me, but I guess that's not the point. You guys, we're gonna have a little bit of a challenge here with Smug, just because it's a little bit, you know, nuanced and subtle, so yeah. And if you guys don't remember, we are going to be animating our character over here that we did from my last stream, which was the character design kind of basics, where we ran through the process of how to design a character, how I start from the beginning of planning everything out and getting to like the silhouettes and shapes, and then finally down to our final character over there. I don't know why it's gray. I guess last time I drew in here it was gray, but yeah, it's gonna be this guy over here. I'm just gonna group all these so it's not too, I like my layers to be non-cluttered. So yeah, this is the guy that we're gonna be working on, and we're just gonna be animating his face over here. I don't know if I'll be able to get to like the hoodie. It probably shouldn't be that bad to get to the hoodie, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And his face is pretty simple and straightforward, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for us as we do this. So yeah, your new name is now Hero Josh. Thank you, Vina, thank you. Animating expression assumes I know how to draw them. That's true. I guess it's like, well, do you know how to animate? Do you know how to draw expressions? That's like the first thing. Yeah. That's a Josh stream. Yeah, making my life difficult. I had to take off my hoodie because I feel like it's gonna get a little heated because of all the pressure that's gonna be cooking on me as I'm drawing. Yeah. Okay, so usually before I do maybe an animation or expression animation, it's probably best to maybe start with coming up with some expressions just to figure out and further, let's see, expression samples? Maybe I'll call them samples. So it's always maybe a bit easier to come up with some expression samples, just because this way I can then figure out how this character's face would be moving all over the, like, how does this person's face move, how does it twist, how does it contort as it moves in different angles. So it's always good to kind of further explore how your character might look at different face angles. So as a little bit of a warm-up before we start actually animating, I'm just going to do some like facial expression warm-ups just to figure out and really put to the test of my character design. Because here's the funny thing, is that sometimes you'll come up with a really interesting character design where you're like, I like this looks good, but does it actually work for animation? And part of that comes down to spacing of the eyes, the shape of the face, where are you placing the nose, consistency of the drawing. And part of the job as an artist is to really understand and feel comfortable with the drawing that you have, so you understand how this character can move. And a good way to just kind of figure that out and understand how it will work for your character is to just draw different expressions. So that's what we're going to do as a little bit of a warm-up. And what helps is to also have a mirror in front of you. So I know Kevin has made fun of me for this beforehand. I don't know if he remembers this, but I do have a mirror in front of me, and it's not so that I could keep looking at my face, but it's so that when I do expression drawings, I can, you know, make the faces in front of me, and I don't have to worry about taking a photo or video, and I can just make the face and then just draw what's on my mirror. Yeah, I'm not totally, you know, caught up with myself, and that's why I have a mirror. I have a mirror for drawing purposes. Yeah, I'm not infatuated with myself, Kevin. It's because it's for art. I have a mirror in front of me for art reasons, that's why. Not for any other reason. Exactly, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna get started with it. I know it's taken a little bit of a while, but I wanted to get a little warm up, explain what we're doing and everything and all that kind of stuff. So don't let him fool you. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this as my guide. And here's the thing, is that as we start drawing facial expressions, sometimes you'll kind of discover new things about your character in terms of like, because remember, this was literally our first time drawing this character. So sometimes I just drew it in the moment, and as we start drawing different angles and as we start drawing different face shapes, we come to learn different ways to push and pull our characters' faces. Sometimes we just come to learn that, like, oh, you know what, maybe to make the drawing and design of the character easier, it might be a little bit better to change the proportions a little bit, maybe push the shape of the hair in a different direction and such. So I'm gonna try to keep these quick, but as you guys know, if you've been on my stream before, you know that I'm not like Jesse. I cannot draw at an insanely fast speed. I usually like to draw pretty rough and loose, and it usually takes me a couple renditions before I truly really get it together as to what something should look like. So I think if I remember of the silhouette for this guy, I think the breakdown was that his hair should be pretty loose and spiky. He's got a very loose and crazy and wild hair, so yeah. Gonna try to maintain that, but I guess I kind of shot myself in the foot or put myself in a corner there, because doing wild hair for animation's not necessarily the easiest thing. So we'll see. Maybe that might change down the road, and it might find a way to actually simplify the hair down the line. So I don't know. We'll see. This guy was supposed to be edgy, I believe. He's supposed to be, you know, he's looking for his family. He has like a little bit of a troubled past and whatnot, so it's gonna be interesting. I am doing it shorthand, so I'm not doing any kind of like facial structure measuring or anything. I'm just kind of getting a feel for it and everything. And because we are having a little bit of a low down angle over here, I am going to have his eyes maybe like closer to the eyebrows and everything. Do we want him to have bigger eyes? Maybe like bigger, slightly more cartoonish eyes and everything. Let's see what chat is talking about. I say a lot of times it's eyes, eyebrows, mouths will often make the big impacts. That is true. We do tend to look a lot at the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, so yeah. Has the most impact on facial expressions? You know, I've been listening to some interviews, and a lot of animators actually say it's all in the eyebrows. Or I shouldn't say like it's all in the eyebrows, but eyebrows play a big role in how like you read the face. You might not do too much with the eyes and the mouth, but if you really push the eyebrows, you can get away with quite a lot. So yeah, I think this this guy was supposed to also be Dutch, but I think I drew him looking a little bit more like Aang, so like a little bit more like Asian vibe, which I guess I might have to change like maybe the eye shape a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. We're going for more of an anime vibe. This is more my natural instinct of where to take things, so hopefully this makes it a little bit easier for me as we animate it. But I feel like this is a pretty good smug animation. Good possible smug animation. It's a little bit, you know, it's a interesting rough, figuring out how his character might look and everything. Good references on Pinterest, true. Pinterest is like also my go-to as well. I love using Pinterest and everything, so yeah. Oh, for anybody who uses Krita, there's actually a new shortcut that I discovered. Maybe you guys already knew this, but the question mark key on your keyboard allows you to flip through your last two or your last used tool. So right now I'm using this pencil tool over here, charcoal pencil medium, but I tend to erase a lot, and I like to erase using this eraser circle that allows me to change the size by using pen pressure. And so if I select these two on the fly while I'm drawing, I can now flip between those two tools or two brushes, so to speak, and it goes for any. So I can like choose these two. There you can see I'm clicking the green one, and then maybe this big marker, let's say big marker. And now if you look on my screen up here on the upper left, I'm flipping through it by pressing the question mark. So it just makes it easier depending on like maybe your drawing situation. But I kind of discovered that on, I don't know, out on the whim by random, because Sketchbook allows you to just draw and flip between your last used tools as well. So I was like, I wonder if Krita has the exact same kind of tool. And it does. So yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna lean into that whole Green Day vibe, you know, with this guy, with this kid. I feel like I just gotta give him the Green Day hair and everything, even though I think we said that he's maybe like, what, 14 years old or something? So yeah, I erase a lot. Traditional, what a traditional artist. Do you think traditional artists erase more or digital artists? I would have thought like digital artists erase more, but I don't know. Could be both, honestly. Just because like you have the freedom to just constantly erase as a digital artist, so I just kind of was like, yeah, it should be digital artist. I think erase more, but I don't know. Maybe you have a point, Kevin. I've never really thought about who erases more. Do you have the latest version of Krita? I think I should have one of the latest ones. I haven't checked if I need to update it, but usually you don't really need to update it too much most of the time, so I feel like I should be good. Why, did they make a new update or something with the Krita that I need to know of? Digital artist Control Z. Oh, that's true. Okay, well, do you consider Control Z part of erasing then? I feel like Control Z. You know, that's interesting. I never really thought of that. At first, I feel like I would consider Control Z as being part of like erasing, because you are erasing like a mistake you did. So I just assumed that is considered erasing, but I don't know. It looks like little Johnny Test with the lightened hair. maybe. Yeah, I don't know why I'm spending so much time on just this one draw. I feel like this looks pretty good, so that's why maybe I'm spending a lot of time with it. I'm like, you know, this is actually turning out not too bad. I like this. M is the shortcut for flipping, so if you ever need to flip your canvas, That's the key. Key to life. Key to drawing well. Not key to life, but you guys know what I'm saying. Hopefully. Okay, we're gonna draw maybe just like 2 more here really quickly. These are just like warm-up sketches. M to flip and critter? Yeah. M to flip on critter. We're gonna draw like a tricky head angle. We're gonna do an up head angle. And depending on the style, everybody kind of approaches the head looking up slightly differently. And sometimes this is like my go-to head angle, even though I will say I don't always pull this off perfectly well all the time. It's not, sometimes I feel like I pull it off not too bad, but sometimes it does look a little wonky, not gonna lie. Sometimes, yeah. Let's see, to draw hair, I erase 50 times. That is a lot of times, Diamond. I don't know if you need to erase that many times, but that's quite a lot. Oh wait, okay, you just said Control Z isn't erasing. It's deciding you want a different approach to the line before it. Wow, Kevin, you're so eloquent with your words there. You made it sound so complex. That's so, wow. Sand or scrape off? Let's see. Maybe it is erasing. Oh, okay, let me see. What version do I have? It doesn't say. I don't think it's... Well, I think it used to say. Does it say if I... No. Yeah, I don't know which version I have, but I did update it in the winter, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, we can't really, as a traditional artist, if you're drawing traditionally a lot, I don't think you don't have the liberty to erase too much, just because, like, eventually your pencil mark making will end up on the paper, kind of like almost engraved onto it, so you have a little bit of a limit as to how much you can do, so, I don't know. And, a cool thing that I learned, that if anybody does inking on watercolor paper, yeah, kind of like what Faye says, you can use sandpaper. If anybody does like brush ink on watercolor paper and you made a mistake, you have like 1 or 2 attempts to correct that line with sandpaper. Use like the finer sandpaper and just lightly rub off the surface of the watercolor paper. But you don't want to go too hard, or else obviously you'll tear the paper. And most of the times this only works with like 40-pound watercolor papers, so don't go too crazy with the watercolor paper, or else it'll be too much. Yeah. Might have made his head a little bit too big on this one. Oh, you know what? That's the opposite for me. I've never sanded like acrylic or oil, but I feel like that's because I don't really use acrylic or oils too much. Oh, true. Yeah, you just sanding gesso. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna try to do that like looking down on you. I don't know if this will look weird. You might look a little odd in this. Maybe the raised eyebrows doesn't really quite work. I feel like this maybe makes a little bit more sense. I'm gonna move this one down. So this head angle can be a little tricky just because your eye is starting to wrap around the head, the cranium, and the eye sockets and everything, so a lot of things start warping a little bit more than usual, so makes it a little bit trickier. I guess if you wanted to count the erasing amount, then yeah, I guess in some ways I am erasing quite a lot. Let's see. This is where the mirror comes in handy, because I use the mirror to just quickly check my mouth mouth shape. Just to quickly check. Nothing too specific, but yeah. Anything happen? Yeah, we're just practicing some expressions to test out our character right now. Before we get into animating, just because it's always good to just test out and see what our character might look like at different angles and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, and someone told me that I say kind of stuff a lot, and I didn't realize that. And then now that every time I say kind of thing, I'm now noticing that I say it a lot. We all have words, I guess, that we kind of like end up relying on a lot. Let me see, I might flatten out that one a little bit. And I do that a lot with I say that. I literally just said I say that a lot too. I do say as well. Yeah, it's kind of like my go-to word. So it's like kind of thing and I feel like are my go-to words. Here, we're just keeping it simple. I realize I might run into this shape, so we're just gonna cut that out for now. For anybody who's like maybe struggling with like head shapes or like drawing like heads at different angles, I would say understand the shape and the overall cranium of the head that you're drawing. The better you are at understanding the underlying structure that lies underneath the head, the better you are at kind of just manipulating and changing the shape of the head that you need to draw. So even though this head shape is typically a harder one to pull off, I can kind of wing it just because I'm relying on the underlying structure underneath. Okay, I feel like this one looks a little bit less like Aang. And for those who don't know who I'm drawing, like what is this character that I'm drawing, this is based off of the character that we came up with as a group actually. The chat kind of gave me some prompts. I mean, I threw them some like suggestions of like, oh, what do you think about this? And like what kind of age group or like where in the world do you think this person is based off of? And we kind of ended up with some guy from Sweden. I might have to check my notes as to exactly where we ended up saying this guy was from, because I think we said that this guy might have like ancestors from like the Vikings and whatnot. So yeah, it's gonna be and then I think we said that this is maybe set in the 1990s, so he's got a little bit of that punk rock hairstyle vibe going on. And yeah, so this is why this character looks this way, and because it's the 90s, me and Kevin were just reminiscing as to like roughly what people wore back in the day in the 90s, and I think we were like baggy clothes, but not baggy in the same way that it's baggy now. It's like baggy in like that very loose fitted way where nothing really matched necessarily. So that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. He got that lore. He does have that lore. He's been living in Canada. Did we? No, I don't think we said he lived in Canada. I think it's because we live in Canada. So like we're just reminiscing over like what did we wear in the 90s in Canada. Maybe we did say he was from Canada. Hold up. I don't know. Maybe I gotta check my notes. It's been a while since that character design stream, so don't really quite remember what we said exactly for this character, but yeah, there was a lot. We came up with quite a lot. Okay, I think the eye looks a little funky though. Let me see this eye. I think I'm just gonna have to scoot that up a little bit. Just gonna flip it, see how that looks. I think that looks okay. I feel like it's a little bit off model just a little bit. It doesn't really quite... I feel like I've got the hair and the rough, like, face shape down, but the overall kind of eyes, I feel like, isn't really staying on model, but that's kind of like the point. We're, in a sense, we're kind of in the exploration phase of this character, so it's gonna be a little bit inconsistent. Oh, Dr. Stone, that's true, yeah, a little bit. Kind of like a shortened version of Dr. Stone, yeah. Which one of us watches you stream, you or me? Oh, did you say he's from Canada? He was born in Sweden, living in Canada. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. Kevin fact-checking our made-up character that we made up that one stream. That's pretty nice. This is my first stream on your channel. Oh, hey, no way. Well, welcome, Diamond. Welcome to your first stream. Hopefully you're liking it. You have no idea what's going on. We're just coming up with some facial expressions. Anybody want to suggest any facial expressions? I will do one more before we start animating the actual animations. So, yeah, this is like a good way for me to just figure out how this character might look in different sad. Okay, well, I'll do contemplative sad. Saw that was the first one. Flabbergasted, that is a good one too. Man, where were you, Venomize, when I was trying to come up with emotions to animate? Flabbergasted could have been a cool one to do. I feel like that would have been pretty good. We'll do sad. We'll do the sad hero shot, you know, when it's like raining and they're looking down and they're contemplating life. Even though he's just a 14-year-old boy, don't know what's happening in life. He's a ghost hunter, remember, guys. So if you go back to our stream, he was a ghost hunter. I have no emotions. Oh my god. Josh's emotions? Sad. Whoa. How'd you know, Kevin? Getting called out for my emotions here. So for me, once you get familiar with the head structure, you'll come to a realization that you don't really always have to do all the measurements to draw a face. All you need is the underlying kind of face shape. And obviously every character is going to have a different face shape, so some people might have more square face shapes, some people might have longer, wider square shapes, and if you want to draw a character, it's really just remembering and kind of just keeping consistency of like that overall face shape. So this guy, he has a little bit more of like a, you know, youthful, square, roundish, small face size. So when I'm drawing a mannequin head, so this thing over here, that's what I'm trying to maintain, is that overall proportions. And yeah, so right now I'm just going to tackle a profile view and we'll see how this goes. See how well I can pull off this profile view. Oh, and I'm kind of curious here, like, what are people's hardest facial expressions to draw? Because I feel like every time I ask students this, they tell me it's profile view, and I'm always surprised that it's profile view just because I've always found profile view to be the easiest one. But then I guess it's because students go like, oh, it's like this part right here. They have trouble getting that part down, and so maybe that's why it's like a hard one to pull off. But I always found like front view the hardest one for me, just due to like the whole symmetry aspect of it. Front view, anything but smiles and deadpan. Yeah, edgy 14-year-old ghost hunter boy from Sweden who moved to Canada and has Viking ancestry or something. Yeah. Front view, upwards, oh yeah, okay. Obviously upwards and down, those ones are always going to be hard just because they're very extreme angles. But in terms of just like the basic ones like up view, front view, 3/4, and profile. Of the core 3, which do people find the hardest? Is it the front view or 3/4? I guess it's like a little bit all over the place. Everybody has a different struggles. Any suggestions for what I should try? Oh, with the face? Let's do I don't know, they're like, maybe your character is looking, it's like searching. I don't know if that makes any sense. But like, you know, they're going through things. With the mask is hard. Having an emotion display on a mask, that's kind of hard. Anything exaggerated? Okay, so like the change between profile and 3/4. Interesting. Ghost pet. Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about the whole ghost pet thing. Yeah, forgot we had ghost pet potential here. Might put it back. I think I'm just gonna move the eye a little bit further back. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. I feel like that's gonna be also a hard thing to maintain, is like the eye size, just because like every style's eye size is a little bit different. So we'll see how this goes. I'm like zoned in here, trying to like figure out how to draw him. Oh, profile view. Might have made his cranium a little bit too big. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna change back to the hard round. Race a little bit faster. Wow, look at this edgy boy. Got an edgy guy right here. Put the hairline a little closer. So, you know, like, I've been studying a lot of retro 90s anime a little bit, and I've noticed that in the 80s and 90s, they actually draw hairlines pretty close to the eyes, which I thought was like really interesting. Like, if anybody's ever watched like Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon or Cowboy Bebop, they put the hairline like literally like 1 inch away from the eyebrow, and I was like, it's such an interesting design choice that I was like who thought of that? Who was like, yeah, we're gonna put the hairline like right up against the face. It's such an interesting choice. I'm gonna move the ear a little closer actually. And I think I'm gonna shrink the head cranium at the back. Might be a little bit too big. And maybe I'm gonna move the mouth. I think I made him look a little too old now. In this shot, he's a little bit too old. He looks a little bit more grumpier than like sad. Just like life, not great. My ancestry. Gonna attempt to make him look a little younger. Gonna shrink those proportions a little bit more, maybe. We'll see. I think it's like the scowling look makes him look a little older. Actually, you know what? Kevin, I'm gonna just do what you said, you know, Control Z. We'll see how far we can go. Can we get the original face back? I'm just gonna move it back to the original. See how far it'll let me move it. Okay. Allowed me to go all the way back. Hey, okay. We're just gonna keep it here. Do the Control Z. Hopefully you guys just hear me go like... we're gonna shrink that cranium. We're gonna shrink this neck size so that it's not too thick. We don't want a thick neck for someone a little bit on the younger side. Actually, you know, now that I realize that, I never really thought about how high his hair was gonna be. but maybe somewhere like here. And I think it'll hang back a little bit. We're going for that real 90s Green Day vibe, so maybe somewhere like here, maybe. Let's see how this looks. It's like not too bad. He's just really edgy guy. Maybe a little bit too far back. Let's push it. Yeah, maybe something like this could work. It's the hair? Yeah. What if you hold it? Does it go faster? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever tried that. Here, let me do a few like brush strokes and see if you can do that. Oh, you can. Oh my goodness, you can. It goes really fast though. That's a little risky. It's a little risky to like just hold it, but it does work. You can hold it. I feel like that's just so risky because like you don't know how quickly far back, because it accelerates really quickly. So it does work. It does work. I've never tried it just because it's a little risky. Yeah. I feel like as I'm drawing him more and more, his hair just gets higher and higher. Maybe it's a little bit too high now. I'm just gonna move it. Just gonna move it down. Move it down a scotch. I feel like something like this would be good. Giving him that bleach, you know, that Ichigo style hair. You know how it is. That edgy anime boy hair. Okay, we got the hood. We got that big bulky hood going on. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty good. Got that contemplative vibe going on and everything. You almost lost your entire... I know, man. Oh, man. That's true. You could control Y to redo. It was just scary. I was not expecting it to go that fast when it was like undoing everything. I was expecting it to just be like at a pretty considerable pace, and it just went like, it was like consuming it, you know. It was just zooming by, eating all of my brush strokes, and I was like, whoa. I did not tell you to do that. Have I watched My Hero Academia? You know, I watched I think up to season 3, and then I just kind of stopped because it was getting a little bit too repetitive, which I think is what a lot of people tend to say anyways. But it was fun. It was fun while it was like going on. But no, I've not caught up, although I have heard people say that that it gets better. It gets a little darker, you know. You'll finish it? Maybe one day, maybe. Season 6 was better. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been, you know what? I haven't been in a show watching mood lately, and surprisingly, funnily enough, you know what mood I have been in? I've just been in a book reading mood. I've just been reading a lot of books. Or not a lot of books, okay. I should say, I just finished Dune, and I'm like reading Lord of the Rings for now. So, yeah, haven't been really watching any shows, just been reading, surprisingly, as a way to end the day. Reading and just playing a lot of Smash Bros, actually. I haven't touched Smash Bros in like years, and then for some reason today, or not today, but like past week, I was like, you know what? I kind of wanna get into Smash Bros, and so I've been kind of just like rebuilding up the muscle memory for Smash Bros. You know. Okay, we're finally gonna do some animation, guys. After that long-awaited moment, we are finally doing it. Okay, paint 5. This is gonna be our rough pass. So I'm just gonna name it rough. You heard it here, folks. Josh just reads and smashes Kevin. How could you reinterpret and re-stitch my words like that? Naming layers, yes, dude. You don't even know. I used to rename layers like crazy. When I was a pro at Adobe Illustrator. I was like a master with the pen tool. And like, you know, every shape you make would make a new layer, and I would have to like I would rename every single shape there, so it was intense. There was a lot of layer naming in Adobe Illustrator because that thing is interesting. It's a different beast. A lot of people tend to have a lot of trouble with Adobe Illustrator. They're like confused with how to draw with it. But I feel like once you get the handle on it, it's not too bad. It's really good. Vector artists, I would vector things like crazy. I am such a stickler for how smooth things are. Yeah, I would spend hours on just making sure the curves were perfect, you know. Is your user inspired by MHA Hina? No, but it's kind of nice that you think so. But honestly, I was not thinking of my hero when I was designing this guy. It was more actually at the end of it. I felt like it felt more like Avatar, you know, like Aang and everything, just because of the head shape. Obviously, this is like if Aang went edgy and had an earring and everything, but yeah. All last week? Yeah, you know, the last time I played Smash was on the Wii, and it's so different now, because I used to just use the Wii remote, which I know a lot of people are like, that's blasphemous. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like, I didn't use the nunchuck, I didn't use like a GameCube controller, I literally just used the Wii remote. And that's how I learned how to play Smash Bros. And so it's weird relearning it now with all the keys and all the like a proper controller. And hey, you know what's weird though is like I prefer with just the Wii remote, but I'm trying to relearn it. That's why I'm saying like it's like a muscle memory. I'm trying to like rewire how to control on like the newer controls, because I learned with just the Wii remote. I know it's weird, but that's just how I went about doing it, you know. It is the way, it is what it is. You animal. It was weird, honestly. Most of my friends used the nunchuck and the GameCube controller, and I think when the Wii U and the Switch came out, everybody was using like the Pro controllers, and I was like, give me back my Wii remote. I just want the Wii remote to control my characters. I don't want this. What is this? What is this newfangled device here that I gotta use a GameCube controller to control my characters? I don't want that. Nah, get that out of here. I lost my soul. Okay, bye Hina. You must be really skilled though. I would say I was decent among my friends. I don't know if I would say that I'm like good, but I got really good at using the Wii remote. So yeah. Even if it's weird. Yeah. Wii remote is horrendous. How did you learn it like that? I don't know, because it was the only way to learn it. The nunchuck, I was just like, there's too many buttons. There's too many things for me to like figure out. So I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna stick with the Wii remote, and it was the way that it is. You know, we don't question my methods here. We just use the Wii remote and we trusted it. Yeah. You love the I don't know. I mean, okay, the nunchucks were fine if I was playing anything else, like Zelda and Metroid, but for Smash, it was just too complicated. The Wii remote was so simple. You just had the D-pad and the 1 and 2 buttons for your A and B buttons. And the button on the back was your shield and your grab button. I don't know, it made sense to me. It just worked. I don't know. For my brain, I was just like, yeah, this is so simple. Okay, so I know we got off topic a lot, but we're gonna try to animate Smug now. So Smug, you know what? I wasn't really too sure what Smug meant. I know that sounds ridiculous since I'm the one who suggested the word prompt for Smug, but just so that we're all on the same page, Smug means having or showing an excessive pride in oneself or one's achievement. So I was thinking of doing like a head turn where we draw you know, we're gonna draw the guy over here maybe, and I was gonna have the head maybe turn up so that he's, you know, looking down. So a little bit of like a cocky head turn, a little bit of a prideful expression kind of thing. So, yeah. Another control sticks and 2 more buttons. I don't know, it didn't click with me, man. The nunchucks just didn't work. Okay, bye Diamond. Probably gone, but bye-bye. Heavily overhated. Was it overhated? I mean, it was fine for like other games, just not for Smash for me. I don't know why. Smug. Don't imagine it. Don't picture it, Kevin. Me trying to make a smug look. Okay, so I'm thinking, my guess, or my approach to it, and again, we're gonna draw really rough here, because we're just figuring things out. We're testing the playing field. But I'm thinking of doing a kind of looking down. Maybe I shouldn't animate this. I'm just like, or maybe I should. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's kind of like the mantra for us here. If you guys are new to me animating, it's always just like, you know, we'll just roll with it. We'll see how it goes and everything. So we got our character here, and I'm just gonna rough it up because the best way for a head turn, I know this is not necessarily a head turn animation stream, but in order to create an animation for expression change, I feel like the best way is to just have larger changes of motion. So that's why we're gonna use a head turn. Perfect emotion for Josh. I don't know, we'll see. He's just defeated a whole host of ghost baddies, and now he's smug. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you know, I like that, Kevin. You're putting a little bit of a story spin on it so that it has a little bit of a purpose to it. We're gonna do a head turn where, you know, we gotta do the heroic shot here. You know, got the hoodie, got that hoodie there, looking very. You know, he just like, I don't know, conquered some ghost. I don't know why I worded it that way, but you know, he's just taking down some ghosts. He's looking off to the side a little bit. The head is turned. You know, we're just gonna map out roughly what the head motion is going to be. That's kind of like the goal, is that I'm not trying to finesse everything at this point, but what I want to do is just get a rough vibe as to like the motion trail and the overall trajectory of how I want the head to be turning. So that's what we're gonna do. And he's got a big ear because he's, you know, he's a kid. Kids got big ears, right? We all got, you know, big ears as kids. So basically, I'm just gonna take what we learned from here, bring it over here, and now we're just gonna animate the trajectory. So we're just gonna animate, like I said, just the hood probably. Well, we're not gonna animate the hood, but we're gonna animate just the shoulder shot, and then we're just gonna animate the head. And for head turns, a lot of the times you don't actually have to redraw everything because a lot of the times things just don't move. So for a head turn, for example, I might not have to draw the shoulder and the hood every single time just because it's just not going to move during a head turn probably. So there's that, and I'm going to turn on onion skin, not onion screen. I had huge ears as a kid. They're still big, I just have a big head now. I mean, you know, that's just how it goes. It just balances itself out. Things are just inflated. Too good. Oh, Diamond, you're still here. I thought you were I thought you were leaving. Hey, that's awesome that you're still here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, because this is just a simple head turn and a simple expression change, I'm not going to animate straight ahead, basically animate frame by frame going forwards. What I'm gonna try to do is just figure out what my starting pose is going to look like and what my end expression and end pose is going to look like. So we got our starting one where he's looking off to the side, he's looking down, and then he's going to look up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and this was not planned, by the way. I'm I wasn't like, yeah, I'll draw these 3 expressions and I'll use these 3 to help my animation. I guess in a way it kind of just worked out this way. But it's going to look a little bit different from this just because I don't think this is necessarily smug. And by the way, if you guys don't think it's smug enough, you could feel free to tell me. And if your guys are like, no, make him more smug, he's not smug enough, then I guess I'll try to make him look more smug. And this is why we do a rough first, just to block it in roughly, because this way I'm able to just track the overall head shape and the mannequin head size and keep it as consistent as I can get it. It's not gonna be like overly consistent, but I'm not gonna try to get too worked up over that. I'm just gonna try to get the trajectory there. And because when you do a head turn, your head isn't swiveling on your neck. It's not a meatball on a stick and you're just turning that meatball. Your neck moves alongside with your head. So when you do the head turn, it's not just the head. You do also have to consider how the neck is going to move. So I think the neck might be like over here. And remember, the best way that I like to think about animation is that it's kind of like experimenting. It's like cooking, you know? You gotta throw in some ingredients, see what works, you know, see if it makes any sense. And then if it doesn't, change the ingredients up. Change it up, see why it's not working, and see if there's any way to fix it and readjust it. So that's what we're kind of doing right here is I'm experimenting right now. Trying to figure out, does this work? Does it flow? Am I keeping the head proportions roughly the same? And all that kind of stuff. Smugger. Make him smugger. It's such a weird word. The smuggiest you can. Yeah. I'll try, guys. How to make head transitions. Kinda, yeah. Since that expression is very focused on the eyes. Oh, true, your masked character. Yeah, how's that going? Is it coming along, your masked character? I feel like, okay, if I'm going like this and I feel like I should turn the head a bit more. So this is why we use reference, guys, because I think I would change this head angle a little bit. Maybe something like this. Turn it a little bit more. Whoops. Turn it a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna reposition this head angle so that it's more like this. Remember, we want big ears. And something like this, maybe. This could work. I feel like, you know, I'm feeling this. I feel like, do we want the whole DreamWorks thing? You know, the raised eyebrow kind of vibe? I feel like that might be a bit too much. Let's go like frown, slight frown. Maybe we won't do the DreamWorks. I feel like that's overplayed at this point. But it's there. Do it. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I might feel a little bit different about it afterwards. I'll be like, nah, this is a little bit too cliche. It's a little We'll see. Again, it's all about experimentation. It's all about how it feels in the end. It's all about the feels. The DreamWorks face, exactly. You guys know what I'm talking about. The iconic Megamind DreamWorks face. And we gotta give him his earring, which, you know, for a moment I forgot which ear the earring goes on. I was like, where did I decide to design the earring on? Don't know. Not too sure. Okay. This is like super edgy for like a 14-year-old kid. Or I guess maybe this is what 14-year-old kids are. Like, I don't know. Are 14-year-old kids like this, guys? I don't know. All my younger cousins are now like going to university and they're in like high school, so I have no point of reference for what a edgy 14-year-old kid is like, and if they're like this. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Oops. Let's see. I feel like that's pretty good. It's a pretty good change. I feel like that works. Like the head looks like, the neck looks like it matches the momentum. The head size feels pretty consistent, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty much there. We got a good change of motion and change of direction, so it does seem like it's working, I think. Swedish Ichigo. You know what's crazy? Ichigo's supposed to be in high school, and like I'm watching it, like I'm rewatching the last season, and I'm like, yo, they made Ichigo does not look like a high schooler. Like, what high schooler looks like Ichigo or Chad? In that instance, like Chad does not. What kind of high schooler looks like Chad? Closest thing. A combination of and smug. Yeah. We should have rescheduled the character sheet after the character design stream. Yeah, maybe. Well, live and learn, I guess. But it's fine. I think we'll be able to get at least some rough movements going down, so it should be good. Yeah. Anime characters looking their age, that's true. That is the stereotype for anime, so that is true. I mean, we got like an hour left, and, you know, Kevin, I know you're just gonna be like, here it goes again. Here we go again. You know, the overconfidence of, we got an hour. We got so much time. We got time. And everything, so we'll see. That one guy in JJ. Oh, you know. Oh my god, Starburst. Now that you mentioned it, I can't unsee it. You talking about Gojo? I guess it kind of looks like Gojo. A little bit, I guess. Like, kinda. I mean, I didn't intend for it to look like Gojo, but now that you say that, I can't unsee it. Yeah. You're almost done the animation already. I know, just 2 poses. That's it. That's all we need. Who says that we need like 10 frames? Just 2 frames is good enough. It could be more intense. You want more intense? I feel like this is pretty good enough. Okay, we didn't draw the eyes though. I just drew the head shape. Where would the eyes be looking though? let's just have him. Okay, I feel like this. He's way too smug. Way too smug in way too smug looking for whoops, used the wrong. Way too smug looking. We didn't draw the eyes, so now he's super smug looking. You know, we'll I might have to just readjust it as we move on the animation and like clean this up and whatnot. I think I'm gonna just move also the ear up just slightly, and I'm gonna move the chin, not the chin, the jaw up as well. Just gonna move it slightly up. I thought his eyes were closed. Nah. His eyes are open. He's so smug he doesn't even need to look. Yeah. He just doesn't have eyes. He's so smug the eyes just went away. Oh, your expression could be more intense. I feel that. I feel like every time I look at my drawing, I don't look at it for like a day, and then I look back at it and it's like, it could be, you know, a little bit more intense. Yeah. You can type so well today. Do you usually not type really well? Yours look really nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah, do another one. Yeah, it'll be awesome to look at. Okay, so I think these are the two. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna draw the in-between for these two poses so that we have a transitioning. And this is where we have to implement a little bit of animation principles of like the whole easing out and easing in. So because I think it's gonna be easing out and it's gonna whip into the smug face, it means that we're gonna lean a little bit closer to the starting position. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically in order to make it look like it's starting off slow and then speeding up, I'm gonna have the next frame be a little bit closer to this side, so our first starting frame, rather than having our next frame be over here. So that way it helps us ease into the final, more smug face. And this also takes into consideration of the position of the head. So the next position, again, and this time I might not actually draw the hoodies, because I have the hoodie for both frame 1 and frame 3, and I feel like it's pretty standard, and I got the neck position pretty much, I think, down. So I'm just gonna hone in and focus more on where this next head position will be. Now for head positions, they don't typically move too much. You don't want it to be like whipping unless you're drawing like a really cartoony character and you're drawing someone moving in a very exaggerated way, or else your character will look very, very cartoony. And in this case, we're not really drawing someone really cartoony, we're drawing something a little bit closer to a more grounded style. So we're gonna keep everything kind of grounded, and I'm gonna follow what I have, the position of the neck in the green one, and it's gonna move just like maybe slightly, but it's pretty much gonna be pretty close to it. Okay, bye Diamond. I just now started hearing the background music and I was like, what's that? Yeah, some of my I might have to like rebalance the audio for my backgrounds song, because like some of them are really loud and then some of them are a little bit more quiet. I could make the audio a little louder, but I don't know, it might be a little, sometimes I feel like this song is really loud and then the other song is a little bit more quiet. I'll like up it by 1 decibel. 1 decibel louder. I don't want to be too overbearing, but yeah. Okay, so we started off with the profile view, and I think for this one, we're gonna have it be a 3/4 angle, but it's like right at the edge of 3/4. And what I'm gonna try to do is have the face animation be led by the eyes. So a good tip for a head turn is that sometimes a lot of animation movement is very subtle, and in the case of a head turn, a lot of times before your head even turns, you want to actually move the eyes first. So the eyes might blink and then open and then look in the direction that it's gonna go, and that way it kind of initiates the movement of the head rather than just turning the head, or else it might feel a little bit robotic, whereas adding an eye blink might help make it feel a little bit more like it has some life to it, might make it feel a little bit more organic. I think I might have turned the head a little bit too much, so I'm gonna actually reposition the angle and the trajectory that the head is going to be turning in. And another key note for a head turn is that it shouldn't be linear, because our bodies are organic, our necks are not like, our head is not on a stick, you know, so when you turn a head, it's not going to be on a linear path. So I guess I'll just draw it as like a quick example. When our head turns, it doesn't just stay on a linear path, or else it feels like our head is just rotating on a stick. It either curves up, like our head might start here, and then as it turns, it like moves and everything, or it curves down. So whichever way, it doesn't really matter, but as long as you don't keep it too linear, and you think about the personality of the head turn, it already adds a little bit more oomph and character and personality to your head turns. It gives it a little bit of that extra push that makes an animation just feel a little bit more lively. So when you're thinking about a head turn, just keep that in mind. Consider like the trajectory and the curving path that it has to follow. And something that I am keeping an eye on is like, where is the eye for my green frame and where are my eyes on my blue one? And I'm kind of creating a trajectory path, or I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of imagining the trajectory path for both of those, so that when I'm animating and I'm drawing all the individual frames, I can actually tell where I might have to just place the head and where the eyes should be and all that stuff, so it stays as consistent as I can keep it. And the hair is a good one too, so you'll notice that the height of the hair path in the green one and the blue one are roughly the same, but it's not straight. It's following a curved trajectory. Same thing with the chin and the eyes. They're all following this kind of path, this motion trail, so that it feels organic and that it feels like it's actually moving at an organic manner. The hard part probably is going to actually be thinking about the transition of the expression. Like, how is he going to look as he changes expression? Because let me see. This one, he's scowling a little bit, so I'm probably gonna keep it slightly scowling, maybe? But this is a 3/4 angle where it's pretty close to the edge. The nose is close to the edge of the face. And let's see, what did my initial expression look like? Mouth is kind of frowning a little bit. And we'll push maybe the brow a little bit closer. And something like this, maybe. And the eyes, we're gonna have it be closed. So like what I said, for a head turn, sometimes it's nice to just lead the motion with your eyes rather than leading it with the head. And so what that means is I'm gonna have the eyes close in this frame. This is gonna be like a keyframe that's kind of important to this motion, and I'm just gonna indicate that it's closed for me instead of cleaning it up. But I'm just indicating to myself that it's gonna be closed, and this is roughly the proportions and shape of the head as it's turning. And I'm also just gonna look at my head, look at where the ear is, and because it's turning slightly, the ear is probably gonna be here. It should be close, and I'm just using it as a rough estimate as where it should be, roughly. Yeah. Decibels follow logarithmic curve. This means that the space between 40 and 41 is actually far smaller than 60 and 61. Oh. Are you a audio technician, Maxwell? How do you know that? That's pretty cool though. So is it like exponential? Does it follow kind of like an exponential rate in terms of its how loud it gets, I guess? But that's cool. I didn't know that. He's like, yes, I'm an audio engineer. And okay, when we have this hair curl, and again for the hair height, I'm gonna follow the in-between and trajectory of where the green and the blue one was. It might go a little bit higher, just so because the head is going up. And then as it settles into the last frame for the smug one, it might be just a little bit, settles down, meaning the head pivots down a little bit. So I am kind of taking that into consideration. So let's see how this looks. It's probably not going to look like much for now, but I want to see if this feels like it's moving, kind of. properly. I feel like the middle one might be moving up a little bit too fast, so I'm gonna just move it down actually. So I'm gonna take the head and I'm gonna just move it down. It should be moving up, but maybe I moved it up. I moved it up way too quickly for a pose like this. So I'm just gonna readjust it. Oh, that's cool. I'm a composer, learned in electronic. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, yeah, it sounds like it's an exponential rate kind of a thing, which is... That's cool, I never knew that. I like recently rewatched Dune, and like the sound design for that movie, oh, it's so good. It's so... It was a little bit loud, but like it's so good. It's like the sound of like the, I don't know what it is, it's like drums, but it just sounds really good. Oops. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that was pretty good. So we got the initiating movement, which is the head moves slightly. I actually might settle that in a little bit more, and then we got the last head turn kind of thing. So something like this. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah. Orchestra. That's awesome. You're gonna do some concert pieces? That's awesome. Yeah, so what was I saying? I think I'm just gonna move this a little bit further as like an initiating pose. And what I mean by initiating, if people are like confused, is that in order to ease into emotion, you can't just immediately turn the head. You have to kind of indicate to the viewer that you are gonna move the head. So that's why like the eyes are closed, and that's why we're easing into the motion. It's not just whipping into the last pose. And these are like probably the first 3 poses I would try to get as close as I can to being as concrete, because after that it's really just finessing and tying it all together. And I'm flipping it a lot just because I'm trying to just track and make sure things are turning and following a decent trajectory and that it makes sense. And I know that style-wise they look a little bit different, but that's okay for this moment, just because as long as the structure and the trajectory works and flows, I think this is alright. It's good for what we're trying to aim for. I might make the head a little bit wider for this guy right here. I think I might have made the head a bit too small. Yeah, for sure made it a little bit too small, because we should still be seeing a little bit of the back of the head actually. And neck might be like, no, neck. We're gonna have to kind of maybe, we'll see when I clean it up just a little bit more. And I think I'm gonna push the cheek out just for the style of it. Make the head feel a little bit bigger. Oops. Yeah, I think it's a lot of flipping. Honestly, animation is just a lot of flipping and checking and just making sure things like match up and whatnot. So that's what we're doing at this point, is I'm just checking. I want to make sure things are flowing and lining up as best as I can before I even try or attempt to clean up, or else it's just going to be a lot of unnecessary busy work that it's not quite needed. I'm just going to make the brow a little bit more indicated and everything. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. What's your frame rate right at the moment? Well, at the moment it doesn't really matter. When you're blocking, you're really just trying to cement and figure out the core poses or the key poses and whether they're looking correct and consistent. But right now it is at 24 frames. but I'm not really going to worry about that until you actually tie in the animation. So at the moment, it doesn't really matter what frame rate or like how many frames we do. Are you going to be able to finish in time? Probably not. My goal is probably just going to have at least the rough finish and tie-in. We'll maybe do like one more frame to ease into the last one, and then I'll tie up all of it. Yeah. Dune was leaving Netflix, so my sister was trying to binge through. That's funny, binge through a movie. I mean, I guess that's a thing. You can binge a movie, I guess. I've never heard anyone say binge a movie. Okay, so this one's gonna be hard because I'm gonna try to figure out, like, for the smug, we're gonna ease into it, and maybe for this one, I'm just gonna do a more frontal angle. Head shape might be closer to something like this. And maybe something like that. And the neck position is pretty much gonna be similar to the final pose and everything. But yeah, it might be something like this. The jawline would be here, and I'm gonna maybe just tweak the center line a little bit. Yeah, because I want the last pose to just angle down a little bit. So that's why this one is actually the highest. So we start low, slowly start moving up, and the head is tilting up. And then we have this pose, which is another key pose, which is at the highest point. But you'll notice that it's not that big of a change, even though I'm like, oh, this is the highest point the head is going to tilt in. But you'll notice, like, this is the chin, and then this is the chin position for the last frame. But it's not that big of a change, and unless you're doing something really, really cartoony, it's not going to be that big of a change. So again, I'm following the trajectory of the eye position. That's going to be a big help. Typically movies... Wait, there's so much chat that happened. I mean, it's not that long. It's like 2.5 hours. But I mean, that is long, but it's not that long. Yeah. Is it 3 hours? I swear it was only like 2.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's like, I've never heard anyone say binge a movie, just because you can usually sit through it, unless it's like Ben-Hur, which is like, what, 4 hours long, or, what is it, 10 Commandments, which are also around that, like, length as well. Yeah. Trying to finish, even though she wasn't oh, it's just in the background? Nah, Dune is a movie you gotta watch. You gotta commit to it. You gotta really watch the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so because he's looking up, the ear is going to be at a lower position, and I'm gonna indicate as the lower, and the ear on the other side, because I think we should see it a little bit. And let's see, we are doing a little bit of the smug raised eyebrows a little bit. So I think this one is raised, whereas this one is angling down. And then let's see, the nose was over here, so I'm gonna position the nose probably somewhere here. The mouth is over here, so I'm probably gonna position it here. So that's what I mean by trajectory, is that it's always good to just figure out where you're placing the trajectory of your facial features and follow through with it. And let's see, this is where the hair is probably gonna be. And let's see, yeah, hairline probably over here. We did just like, I brought it up how like in the 80s and 90s anime hairlines are really close to the eyebrows, so I'm gonna just try to keep it a little bit close. But yeah, gonna be maybe somewhere here. And again, I'm just gonna use where the hair was for the blue one as a predictor, because height-wise they should pretty much be the same. And so he'll probably be here. He does have that swoosh in the front, so we'll keep it there. For this one, the eye is gonna look it might be kind of in the middle, or actually, Let me see. I'm gonna. Good thing I don't have my face cam on because I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do the motion. I actually think it should look to the other side first. It'll look to the other side, and then at the last second, it then moves to the smug looking down kind of angle. So somewhere maybe like this. This is probably where the eye might be. And I might move the chin up, or not the chin, the jaw. I'm gonna move it up just a little bit. Actually, it should be over there. I can't forget, you know, that edgy earring and everything. Hairline's probably gonna angle down a little bit more. Yeah, I think this should be it. In terms of the core poses, we got about half an hour, so I'm just gonna maybe tweak these 4 poses because I think this should be enough to get across how this pose looks. So let's take a look at it. I'm just gonna flip through it, make sure that the trajectory works. I know it's a little jarring because I feel like the last 2 poses really I put more effort in making sure they work, and it looks like the brush is like a different pen pressure. But I think this is good. Obviously we're missing like maybe 1 more frame would be good. If I have time, I might just put an in between, right in between 3 and 4. But in terms of consistency and proportion and size, I think this is good. Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna draw the hood here so that it's like there. And like kind of makes sense, even though we don't need it. But I'm just gonna put it here just so that it's there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's not too bad. It's the "what do you want" head gesture. That's true. Yeah. Most of the time is due to slow motion shots. Oh, what is that? What are we talking about here? You want to draw with your pencil for paper on my iPad? What does that even mean? Traditional or digital? I can't watch movies on 2x speed. I feel like it just takes away the integrity, you know, unless it's a really, really long movie, then I can kinda understand. Yeah. Oh, true, yeah, Zack Snyder with the slow motion. That's true, I guess it makes sense to then speed it up, so then the slow motion just feels normal. Yeah. It's the "what do you want?" Yeah. This guy has a select number of companions. You love the attitude? Thank you. Okay, so we got a little under half an hour, about like 20 minutes. So right now we're gonna make another one, and I'm gonna call this cleanup. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Okay. And we're just gonna lower this opacity, and now we're gonna draw on this one, and I'm gonna clean up slightly. Obviously this is still gonna be a rough cleanup, so to speak, so yeah. You watch the VODs on 2x speed? I feel like that makes sense, because you know, streams can be long, there's a lot to do, so yeah, totally get it. Rough cleanup. Okay, bye Venomized, hope you enjoyed the stream. 6-hour movie. Okay, the longest movie I think I've ever watched is Ben-Hur. I don't know if it's 6 hours long. I think it's like 4 hours. Could be a little bit longer than 4 hours, but I don't know. A math video on 2x speed? Oh my goodness. Hello, Frog. How you doing? Okay, so let's do the cleanup. I'm gonna change the brush color to like maybe like a darker blue, so we could just differentiate. Actually, No, we're gonna keep it to red because I realize my onion skin is blue and is blue and green, so it's gonna make it really hard to see. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna do the cleanup now. I feel like the one that might feel a little bit out of character might be this pose over here, but we'll see. We'll see. Dude, math video at 2 times speed does sound ridiculous. It sounds like that's like a lot. And do remember, this is still going to be a rough, so I am technically cleaning up, but not too much. And oh, you know what? I guess I should make the eyebrows actually a little lower, because if he's scowling, the eyebrows should be a little closer to the eyes. I feel like I gave him just like intense eyeliner. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. Kind of works. And yeah, Host the Ghost. Is that someone's name? Host the Ghost? Yeah. 2 times when you're editing? Yay. Really? Is that how you edit our videos, Kevin? That's jokes. That's pretty fast. Realize that the ear actually might be even closer. So I'm gonna put the ear over here, and the jaw, kind of indicating the jaw over there. And everything. Hope everybody's doing good. But everybody's having a good kind of weekend, hopefully. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the end of winter, seemingly. I don't know where people are at, but winter has pretty much died for us here in Canada. I was like, I love the winter, so I was hoping that it would last a little longer, but it seems like it is officially gone. I don't think it's coming back. I feel like as I'm drawing him more, I am getting a better understanding of like what the hair might be like. I feel like I am taking a lot of inspiration from Bleach and how Ichigo's hair is drawn. If you ever look at Bleach, like Ichigo's hair, it's like it's never like fully connected. It's drawn with just lines and stripes. Gives it a little bit more of like that fluidity, I guess, with the hair movements. Unless we have a snowy March. That is true. I'm hoping that some snow does come back, but like, dude, so the trees are already blooming. Or at least the trees near me are already blooming, and I'm like, the trees even know. The trees are just like, yeah, it's not happening, guys. Winter's died. It's over. Winter's done. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep, usually my style is a little bit on the messier side, so I'm gonna try to just keep the lines a little bit more defined. This way, as I'm connecting the frames, it makes it a little bit easier to tell what is what. And I'm just gonna indicate the shoulder, roughly. There we go, we got one frame down. Looking okay, not too bad. This kind of lame. Yeah, I agree. This winter was like so sad. It's like, where'd the snow go? It like came and then it would rain, and then it would get cold again, and then it would get really warm. And it was like, what's happening here, guys? What's happening? What's going on? Winter be gone? Why do you have? I feel like the only people who say they don't like winter is when they have to shovel the snow. So I guess if you hate shoveling snow, then I guess it makes sense. Can I get a mini very quick update of what I've missed? Well, we are coming near the end of the stream, but what I'm doing right now is I'm just cleaning up the frames that I've drawn for this head turn, and I'm just kind of cleaning up what I blocked in. So right now we don't have too much time, so I'm not going to go over it, but feel free to go through the stream afterwards, and then you can take a look at what we did, and you can see that I've having a guy do a head turn so that we can get into a smug expression. So that's kind of what was going on. Yeah. Hopefully that helps you get an idea as to like what we're doing here, but we are coming near the end of it, so really I'm just cleaning everything up. And we did only get a chance to do like 4 key frames, and these would be the key frames, and then everything else would probably just be an in-between. But as usual, like, it's hard to tell right off the bat until you have things settled in, and then you take a look at it, and then you realize like, oh, you know what? This could change over here, or like maybe I should add something over here. And all those things are just, you know, things you're gonna have to kind of decide as you do it. I realized I did not have the onion skin on, so I'm gonna have to just readjust it. I'm gonna turn the onion skin off for this one. Wow, this is actually a pretty big change. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna move the hairline just a little bit closer. But I think this is actually pretty decent for the head turn. Actually, the ear might be higher, because the head is technically supposed to turn up. So if I turn the ear a little bit higher. I know I said I'm gonna try to clean it up, but you can only make it clean so much before it's like, oh, you know what, I need to adjust this, I need to fix this and everything. So when I'm doing cleanup, it's a little bit of a balance of looking at the rough breakdown of what I have in the rough layer, but it's also taking a look at the previous frame, because the previous frame is the more cleaned up version, so it's a little bit of a combination of the two. And remember, this one is when his eyes are closed, so just gonna do a simple eyes closed kind of drawing here. Simple, just eye looking down. I think it'll be good enough. And I don't think I'm gonna draw the other. Actually, you know what? I'll just do the simple line on the other side. Simple kind of breakdown for where it should be. Yeah, and then the hair, honestly, from that point on, it's like pretty standard. I'm gonna just move it over a little bit. I feel like I'm really channeling my like old school anime art style vibes here. And just gonna add a few like lines to indicate some changes in the hair path and everything. Yeah, after stream I'll send what I did. Hey, yeah, it'd be awesome to see your character and how it turned out. Feel free to like tag us on Discord or something so we can see how it looks and everything. Okay, let's see how this looks. Honestly, that's not too bad. I think the nose transition's a little bit too quick, so I'm just gonna lower that. Just gonna lower that eye change, but yeah, that's not looking too bad. I'm gonna save. Hopefully Krita doesn't crash on me. back. Honestly, I don't think we really need the onion skin for this. Top tier expression? That's why we do it in shapes? Yeah. Do something happier? Yeah. Sorry if I'm having trouble catching up or keeping up with chat. It's just like, this is like the cleanup phase where I just get zoned in and honing in on the details. But I'm just gonna take a look at chat, see how it's going. Yeah, the weather is weird. We're having a weird situation right now. Yeah. Gonna do one more expression. That's awesome. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing great. Skill of vintage anime. Maybe a little bit, yeah. Kind of. I feel like honestly, I'm pretty happy with the last 2 frames. These ones, honestly, I think look pretty good. Also feel like I don't even really need to do too much other than just make sure the line work is a little bit cleaner. That's kind of it. I might extend the hair to the side just a little bit more, but pretty happy with how it looks. I know we're coming a little bit to the end, but again, just a reminder that we are also an art school online. So if any of this sounds intriguing, or if you want to just elevate your art skills, feel free to check out our website, wingcanvas.com, because there's a lot of art classes there. If you want to touch up on your fundamentals or your foundations, we have drawing lessons and drawing classes that are taught by me and Arunya. We have digital art classes taught by Jesse. I think it's like an illustration/digital illustration class. So if you want to learn some drawing tips by Jesse that are more digital focused, but still touch up on like, you know, drawing fundamentals, maybe you check that out. And if you want to like maybe learn how to draw some more anime cartoon focused projects, then Iggy is the class to take a look at. I do also drawing and painting mentorship, as does Faye. So we kind of specialize in a little bit more of like the traditional art style. So if you want to like touch up your traditional art skills, you can check that out. I also do animations. As you can see, we're doing animation right now, so it makes sense that I would be the one running the animation one. And actually right now the assignment that we're doing is the head turn. It's not necessarily an expression change, but we are doing a head turn. So it's kind of relevant in the sense that it's kind of like the same principles and everything. So if any of those things sound interesting, or you're like, ooh, that sounds pretty good, and you want to check it out, definitely take a look at our website, because we do have a lot of different classes where we touch upon a lot of different topics. And if you want to learn from one of us, definitely check us up on our website. But if you don't, that's totally okay. We always post videos on our YouTube channel, and we always stream every Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to support us and just see what we're doing, definitely check out our YouTube channel for, you know, lesson tips on art and just like drawing tips, or maybe even commissions. Jesse did a whole kind of series on commissioning, and that was really cool. So if you were ever curious about, you know, doing commissions for art, you can check that out. But yeah, it's kind of it in terms of like the lessons and how we kind of run things. I will be posting this on our social media, so Discord is usually the first place that gets it. So if you want to get quick updates, Discord is usually kind of like the place to be. But things do eventually get posted onto like our YouTube community page, onto Instagram, and onto Facebook. So check us out on social media. It's a good place to kind of get updated on our drawings and the stuff that we do on stream and things like that. So yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. We are kind of winding down to the last 10 minutes. I wonder if I can finish this in like 10 minutes, because we got one more frame, but I think we should be good. Should be able to like clean all of this up and add everything. So it should be good. Let's see how it looks. I feel like there's a little bit of a style crisis, but this is what happens when, you know, you haven't quite fully figured out what the character might look like. But I feel like this is pretty good. It's not looking too bad. Obviously, I will just remind everyone, these are key poses. So obviously, if you're like, oh, that jump from frame 2 to 3, like this one, that's pretty big, and that's because, yeah, we didn't put in the in-betweens. And so the in-betweens are going to help just tie everything in together, make everything flow and whatnot. But these are the main key poses, just to make sure that I've got the trajectory, I've got the flow of the pose and everything going on. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit inconsistent in terms of a style, but I think proportion wise everything is looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Actually might not put that in. I'm just gonna tie this one together. Upward poses are always tricky. And also when it comes to like animation, the line work for upward face angles are also kind of tricky, because it's like, okay, what lines do I want to include? What kind of make the pose too, what makes the pose feel too complex? What makes the pose, like, does it add to it? Does it make it like work and all that kind of stuff? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to consider in terms of adding what to the pose. I'm just gonna move the eyebrow actually a little further in than how I had it originally. Now, and it is almost camp time. Yeah, dang, it's summer's almost here. You know, for the first time, I feel like because this winter was so lame, for a lack of a better word, I'm actually kind of looking forward to summer, which I don't usually look forward to. Summer's kind of like not my season, because I'm just like, I prefer the cold, don't give me the hot. But then this time I'm like, you know what, winter, you're kind of lackluster. I'm kind of looking forward to summer now. Look what you've done. You were so uneventful that now I only look forward to summer, which has never happened before. Scorching weather? I hope it's not hot. Honestly, this past summer wasn't that bad though, so I have a feeling it's not going to be too bad. So yeah, I don't know. Hoping it's not too bad on the summer front, because I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. Oh, you know what? This kind of gives me the Tokyo Revengers vibe. Because, like, aren't all the characters from Tokyo Revengers supposed to be, like, high schoolers or something? But they're all, like, part of a gang or something, and they all look old-ish. Old-ish. So, I don't know. Okay, it is 9:55. We're almost coming to the end here. I'm gonna try to speed through this, and hopefully we can flip through it before it's like the official time in. You know, it's 5 minutes, not too bad on time. I actually really like the way I drew the hair here, so I'm gonna try to mimic the hair shape, I should say. Josh's summer arc. This sounds so anime. It's like, this is my training moment. This is my moment. Summer to train. I think that's about it. Let's see. Also, sometimes you'll kind of just realize that when you draw in the rough, it looks better because like certain lines are just not concrete. But let's save it and let's just flip through it. That's actually not too bad. That's pretty good. I think I might just add a little bit of chin in here, just like maybe, oh, maybe like right over. This is what I'm saying. These are one of those tricky ones where it's like, do I add the chin? I don't know. I feel like it's missing, but I don't know. It's hard to say. You're my favorite VTuber? Thank you. I'll take that. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it. Maybe I'll just space these out. I think I'm going to space these out by 2s, just so that it's a little bit easier to look through it. And I'm just going to have it play. Ooh, that's way too fast. Okay, let me just space it out a little bit more, so it's not too fast. And then I'm gonna put the starting frame like maybe here, and let's just play it. I feel like that's not too bad. And I'm just gonna have it on loop here because we are at the end of the stream, and I just like to thank XPPen again, as they are the sponsor of this stream. So again, we just like to thank our sponsor for the stream, XPPen, who have an awesome selection of digital art tablets for both beginner and advanced artists. So if you're looking for an affordable and reliable digital tablet, go browse their store. You'll find a link in the description of this video. So again, big thank you to XPPen for sponsoring our stream. And if you are interested in looking for a tablet to help you kind of start that digital art journey, definitely check out their link in our description so that you can take a look at their selection of tablets and all their kind of different gears and items there. So yeah, thank you again, XPPen. Awesome that you're able to sponsor our stream. And thank you guys for joining our stream. This is, we ran through it a little bit quickly. I will maybe like zoom out so you can see what we were working on. Oop, did I like accidentally move everything? It actually might just be, hold up. Okay, there we go. I think it's because I zoomed out and I was playing it, and then Krito's like, huh? You want me to do what again? Yeah, so here, I'm just gonna zoom so you can see what we did this stream. Got our reference, got our little expression samples to just experiment with this character, see what this character might look like in different angles and different expressions, just to further explore how this character might look. And then we did a little bit of a key pose breakdown of what this character might look like from a kind of I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know, what was the backstory? People were like, oh, he finished, I don't know, took down some ghosts or something, so he's got that like contemplative, angry look profile view, and then he does like a little smug turn afterwards. So that's the expression that you guys voted for. So this was a head turn slash smug expression change. So yeah, again, it's 5 o'clock on my side, but thank you guys for joining the stream. It was great having you guys here, keeping company, and hope you guys learned a little bit of how to do an expression change and a little bit of a head turn, as well as some like expression, I guess, exercises to warm up for an expression change. So yeah, thank you guys.